All right. Members of the culture, I'm Ra, and you are here. Welcome in to the very first, the inaugural episode of the best wrestling podcast nobody knows about yet, the 5 Count. I'm not going to make this video really long because this is really just kind of an introduction as to what we'll be talking about here, the format, how this show will go. After this, you'll see when the second episode hits, we'll have our guest on, and we'll kind of have a little bit more of a regular rotation of guests, and things will be rolling a little differently. So this is just kind of a hey, how you doing introduction to it. You already know who I am, so there's no point in me telling you that. You know I'm Rod, just told you that. But I happen to be a lifelong, I'm a collector, obviously you guys can see that. And you know that from watching the channel. But outside of that, if you didn't know, I'm a huge wrestling fan and have been for many years, right? I've watched wrestling from pretty much all over. So regionally here and locally here in Memphis, and regionally, Memphis has been known as a territory, kind of still is. But I also have watched wrestling that has been based out of Canada. I have watched New Japan. I have been well versed in TNA. I have been / Impact. I have been well versed in what was called USWA, which was led by the one and only King in my heart, and that is the King, Jerry Lawler. Shout out to King Booker though, 5 times. I have consumed wrestling for a long time, and I don't consider myself an expert. I don't consider myself a historian. I consider myself an informed fan. I'll say that's the best way I can put it to you. So I'm a pretty informed fan. I don't do dirt sheets and gossip and all of that stuff. So breaking news and all that kind of stuff, you won't find that here. That's not what I do. I leave that to the dirt sheets. However, what I do talk about is the current, past, and future of professional wrestling. So I'll talk about pay-per-views that happened. We'll recap those, believe it or not, because the very first one, and I'm going to let you in on this, and of course it sounds perfect to say this, it's a spoiler. The first one I'm going to cover is the infamous Starrcade in 1997, involving the one and only Sting, and of course Hollywood Hulk Hogan. Rest in peace. I will be covering Starrcade. That is one of my favorite pay-per-views. I watched it. I watched it right then and there. So, not in the years after. I mean, I watched it live on pay-per-view along with millions of people, I'm sure, and saw it. The main event is what I'll be covering. I mean, there are other matches I'll talk about, but the main event, as I just mentioned, told you, that's going to be the crux of it. We'll be talking about how the match was, the lead up to it, what went right and what went wrong. And I think there's a good amount of both of those categories, to be honest with you. There's a good amount that can fill both. Because they did a lot of things right, and I think on the night of the show they did a lot of things wrong. But it's okay. It's okay. I still love it. It still holds a very huge place in history. And it cannot be and should not be forgotten. It'll live in the annals of history forever. Right? So I'll be discussing that. That tells you WCW, WWE, AEW, Ring of Honor. I'm telling you, NWA. Wrestling has been, along with figures and collecting, has been my life. So it is something that I enjoy talking about. So you should look forward to an exciting podcast with some exciting guests, because unlike my normal podcast, which you guys should be watching, the greatest podcast in the world nobody knows about, Catch the Fade, whereas that is more collector focused and talking about, mostly talking about collectibles and things like that. My next this particular endeavor is strictly wrestling, right? So as much as you got, don't get me wrong, if you're watching the show, it's your first time, and you do see something and you just have to ask a question about it and it's not wrestling related, I want you to say, hey, I'm not answering those questions. No, it's not what I'm not that kind of person at all. If you're watching this and you're like, hey man, where'd you get that Galactus? I got questions about it. Hey, what's going on with that Gargantos right there? I want to talk about it. You drink Spindrift? Any of those things hey, ask me whatever you'd like to ask me. Okay? And I will answer those questions. But primarily, this will be a wrestling based podcast. If you want to know about any of this stuff here around me, believe me, there is plenty of content on this channel that you can go to find it. We have I just mentioned Catch the Fade podcast. We talk about it. I've got Take Fives, where I take 5 minutes out of a day, talk about a topic, let you respond to it. I've got long form videos. I've got YouTube shorts. I'm on TikTok, Instagram. So there are lots of ways to get in contact with me and talk about all the rest of this. But for the majority of this particular podcast, we will be discussing professional wrestling. And since it's WWE, sometimes will come up sports entertainment. But yeah, we'll be talking about it in depth. We'll be talking about pay-per-views, regular shows that are coming. That means Raw, SmackDown, Collision, what am I still thinking? Dynamite. We'll be talking about a lot of shows and a lot of content. New Japan shows, G1 Climax. There'll be a lot of stuff we talk about on here. So that's why I said it's mostly a wrestling podcast, because you never know what we'll talk about, and you never know who may show up. I won't spoil it, I won't spoil that, but you never know who may show up. Before I get out of here, I'll go ahead and say that as of right now, today is November 2nd, 2025. Last night, we had Saturday night's main event. Overall, I thought it was a good show. It has caught some backlash. And it's safe to say, and I don't want to get on the soapbox here because it might take a long time. It's safe to say WWE may have a couple of creative issues here not issues, but a couple of creative bumps in the road that they might want to address so that it does not become a huge problem down the line. I will say that. But overall, I enjoyed the show. I feel like trying to make sure. I feel like in every case, the right. Other than one, I'm on the fence about. But in every other match, the right person won. So I'm going to go in depth on one of those topics. It'll probably be in the next one because it'll take me a while. Like I said, I don't want to get on the soapbox about it. I enjoyed the show overall. I am happy for Jade Cargill. Definitely happy for my main man, Dirty Dom, 100%. Happy for CM Punk. And even the American Nightmare, right? But I have questions coming out of all of those matches that makes me wonder about the future. It's not in a bad way, but it just makes me wonder creatively where we're going. Okay? But it was a good show. If you have Peacock, run it back and watch it. Watch the replay. It's up on there. Or watch the YouTube highlights, however you want to consume your wrestling is your business. But I would advise you to check it out 100%. Check it out so that way when we go in next week, we'll have another one. We'll have our second episode of the podcast. When we go in, I'll certainly at that time go a little bit deeper on what's going on with WWE and in terms from this fan's eyes. I listen, I'm not a booker, a matchmaker, I'm not any of that. I don't proclaim to know anything better than Triple H or whoever is there. So I'm not here to insult them or denigrate them in any way. I'm simply, as I said, an informed fan. And I'll just give my opinion on the product, and that'll be that. I'm not going to slander or make anyone feel or look stupid. That's not what I'm here to do. I'm just here to give my opinion on the product as a consumer. And I will do that, and I will encourage you to do the same thing in your life. And also, I'll encourage you to get active in the comment section down below. So, ladies and gentlemen, be prepared, because the 5 count is going to be something special. I can promise you that. All right? So, it will take place on Thursdays. I can officially say that. I think it will come after Catch the Fade, though. I don't think it'll be before. I'm still working on one more thing to nail the time down, but I'm about 99% sure it'll take place after Catch the Fade. So we may move Catch the Fade up a little bit earlier right now. Catch the Fade's at 4. So maybe this show takes place at 5:36. Don't know. Still got to figure out a couple of those things out. But I do know it's Thursday, and I know it'll be after Catch the Fade. Those are the only two things I can commit to tell you with certainty, right? So, folks, thank you for your time. I really appreciate it. On behalf of this beautiful gold belt and every other wrestling fan out there, I look forward to pinning you down the next time for a 5 count. Stay blessed.